Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Clixin It. This actually came up with a conversation with Gerry and I today that we were talking about when I upload my videos, and Gerry suggested, why don't you do commentary on one of your videos? So I thought I would do commentary on this week's battle. This week's battle was 500 points Golden Age. And the last What Do You Recommend video, I had suggested two teams. One was a team called Take One Damage at a Time, and another one was the Superman Prime Cosmic team. The most votes went to the One Damage at a Time, and we're going to get this match underway so you guys can see what happened in the match between me and Gerry. So let's get this started. So as you can see, I am running Lex Luthor from Rebirth, Captain America Chase from Black Panther, and I've got the 3 Danger Room constructs from X-Men. I've got the Skull from Earth X, I believe, and Blob from the Wolverine also. So first thing I do here is I am moving up with Captain America, taking the Soul Gem, dropping it next to Luthor, and Luthor is picking it up. Now, as you can see on the other side, Gerry is running a 500-point Onslaught Colossus. I picked this map because I thought it would just kind of be fun. You know, I'm the judge, so I wanted to have fun with Gerry on this map. And I was kind of just expecting him to mind control my guys, attack each other, and then put them in those portals and have them move wherever they may please. So I wasn't expecting much against this game because Onslaught has that free mind control, plus the dial that he was at also has mind control, so he can basically mind control 3 of my people twice in one turn. So right here I'm trying to position, just making sure what Onslaught's power is, and it is that one where it is once per turn. Onslaught can either use, I believe it's TK, I'm going to pull it up on HC Realms here real quick, but it's either, he can either use Mind Control, In-Cap, or TK for free once per turn. I'm going to just double check on the realms real quick. Almost there. There is Onslaught at 500 points. And indeed it is free In-Cap, Mind Control, or TK for free. So I'm just trying to move in position. I had I forget which ring it was, the spectral ring it was, and I had planned on putting that on the Skull, but the Skull is pretty much useless in this matchup against Onslaught because he has protected mind control, so there wasn't much I can do there. So I'm just trying to think of how to position my guys. There's really nowhere I can hide on this map because Onslaught is a Colossal and it can basically see wherever he feels like it. So I'm just trying to position my guys a little spread out so that he has to move them and think a little bit about his turns when he's placing and attacking my guys. So I move Sabretooth up there, move Blob about halfway. Honestly, if I would have done this all over again, I should have just rushed him right from the beginning, just moved all my guys up right away. I really wanted to get Luthor that Soul Gem to give him the +1 defense and to keep having him heal to his clicks where he is only taking 1 damage. So got my guys all spread out. Captain America and Lex Luthor in the back. Gerry's thinking about what he's doing with Onslaught there. If you see me on my phone, I play fantasy football, so I am just checking scores. I'm not cheating. We did decide at our venue that we are not going to be doing the opponents can look at the back of your character's cards. I just felt like that took away from the game from what it was supposed to be, so we did take a vote. One of the players there, Robin, did decide that he is going to play by those rules. However, he's just going to flip the cards on his team so that we can see, because he feels like it's a rule that WizKids has implemented, and he wants to run by those rules. So I said, if you feel free to flip your cards so people can see the back of your cards, that is fine by me. That is your choice. I can't stop you. But you are not allowed to look at anybody else's cards. So Onslaught has a 9 range triple target. So I positioned him out a little bit so that he'd have to move up. But he doesn't have to go far. He only had to go like 3 squares.
Oh, yeah, he'll perplex.
So one thing I do want to mention that I forgot about this matchup was that when Onslaught was mind controlling Sabretooth, he shouldn't have been able to because he had Battle Fury. So here he mind controls, I believe it is Blob, Magneto, and the Skull. I believe that's who he decided. So he's trying to decide how he wants to attack.
Oh, okay. What you got? I just wanted to let you know. Sure.
Not much going on right here, so if there are some dull moments in this, I do apologize. It is my first time commentating this match, and really can't much happen when your opponent has one character. Not much is going to be happening on this turn. He's either going to be attacking, clearing, moving, not much. But because he has that triple mind control, he does basically have more characters on his team than just the one Onslaught. So here he tries to break away with the Skull. He does, which is a good move by him because he's just going to, I think, ping Mr. Sinister here, which all you need to do is 1 damage to the guy at a time. So he sidesteps, or moves, makes an attack. He's got a 12 attack. I've got an 18 defense with shape change. I missed my shape change there. He gets it, so Sinister takes a click of damage. One thing I did note playing this team with the constructs that when you get mind controlled, when a construct gets mind controlled, and the attacker who is controlling him rolls and one of those die are 1, that counts as air tokens. So I thought that was kind of a fun way to get in there. So right there, Magneto rolled a 7, and there was a 1 in it. He gets an air token because Magneto makes the attack. And I think I'm reading it right here, and I realize it.
I just wondered.
They changed it so that you could,
Yep.
which is great.
Well, I got
that would be
invincible
gross.
now.
So
Explode.
Okay,
she's
but
gonna
you can
move
still be knocked
there.
back into the dark
Drop
dimension.
it Moonstar.
You won't take damage, but you'll portal.
I got knocked back there because Magneto has traded Force Blast.
And he'll perplex it for attack.
And there, Mr. Sinister gets teleported all the way across the board.
Finish the mind control.
Oh yeah.
Blob's holding the heavy object.
Targeting.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized quite yet
My other
that
problem, I thought this was
Magneto
that was
rolled
I never read these
that
right.
1, but
It just
Gerry, as
always-
you
I'm
can
like,
see
this
holding
looks
his
elevated
hand,
to me.
has not changed the dice outcome.
Okay, so
I
thought
think
that
coming
was-
up here, I finally realized, oh wait, what did Magneto roll for his result?
Iron Man. The Wolf.
Alright.
I get a wolf
Bloop
shape change.
and-
I knew I'd lose as soon as this
Is this
started.
your roll
So
for
screw all
Magneto?
strategy. We're gonna shoot Shiva Shredder.
Should hit. She's got a 13,
Oh, because he
17.
used an arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Actually,
That's where I noticed it right there. I'm like, wait a minute, what did Magneto roll? Oh, he rolled a 1, I get an error token. I only got my full error tokens in the game actually before this against Ryan with Sabretooth because Sabretooth had 1 on him and then he crit missed, which put him on to 3, but that put Sabretooth onto his last click because he had been beating him up there. So there, Blob attack Sabretooth. He missed because he rolled a 6. He needed an 8, I believe, 8 or 7. I can't remember.
He'll be fine against Shiva
I guess I
Shredder.
outwit is outwit.
Okay.
And then that's what you
So there,
All right. Leadership was.
Gerry outwits my outwit on Mr. Sinister.
He said
And
My turn again.
Is also gives himself defense. Turn.
I'm really, at this point in the game, it's only my 2nd term, and I'm just like, how the heck am I going to get up to Onslaught? Because I honestly was not having fun, because I'm like, he's just going to keep mind controlling me away and hit my own guys. It's not the point of this team. Mr. Sinister tries to sidestep up, tries to hit Onslaught, needs an 8, misses.
Okay, cool. It's good. Pog number 2. That's good.
What do you mean?
He would take unavoidable damage when the pogs are killed.
Oh, okay.
But it's only 1 or 2.
Ricky, you need Ironmonger.
4, 5. He will running shot to there.
So I
shoot.
move Magneto up, try to hit. I think
It
it
was
was
just like, well,
6.
let me try to
Get
one,
myself
maybe.
an
get rid of
8.
some things here.
He just
Well,
takes
you're-
1 unavoidable.
Well, you take a max of 1. So.
And,
reduces
yeah.
to 0.
And also runs my strategy because again I thought this was elevated. I'm excited.
There.
That's okay.
Yep.
Well, that's fine because you have a colossal now.
Honestly,
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say, max
quite
the
sure
shield
why
shoot here.
I didn't have him take it.
He's gonna do none of that.
Because he should have got Psychic Blast. Did right there. So that might have been an error on our point. He did roll his impervious. He did get a 5.
If I kill your Sabretooth
energy
with Blob,
explode.
I get Blob.
Everything that works.
He wouldn't have. He's taken 1 at a time.
I know,
But
I know,
yes.
but if I
Here we're
want to-
discussing that if Jerry would have killed Sabretooth with Blob, would he have given Blob the combat reflexes that Sabretooth gives once he dies? And I think that's how that works, because even though it's my character, Blob is the one that KO'd Sabretooth, therefore would get the combat reflexes.
Yep.
So my turn's done. I cleared up Captain America and Lex Luthor. It's Jerry's turn.
So 4.
Hey, so I got you the storm on you now.
See any other
She's not even on the field. She's just an ID
You
call.
would like to know that, wouldn't you?
It says on the front of the card.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I know why Onslaught didn't take that damage from Magneto, because he has protected Psychic Blast. That's right. That's right, because Magneto has Psychic Blast, but Magneto just says, nope, ignore that.
I could move into the dark dimension, possibly portal in here, and then knock him
So he
back.
gets 2
Yeah.
You just get one.
So here Jerry is, I forget who he wants to mind control here, but he wants to portal him onto number 3 and then knock him back into the portal to portal him one more time. Jerry's got some pretty fun ideas when it comes up to playing some games. And actually, Gerry is one of our more knowledgeable players at the venue whenever there's a rule that I'm not quite sure of, which is a lot. I'm not going to lie. I'm not the most informed judge out there. But whenever I have a question, I always ask Gerry, because he says he spends many nights reading the rule book and comprehensive rule book before he goes to bed. So Gerry is a great player to have at our venue, just because he is so knowledgeable about the rules and everything.
Yeah, she's not like.
I don't think I had a shape change this entire game with Sinister. So there, mind controls. Everybody here, I forget that Sabretooth cannot be mind controlled. So I believe he mind controlled Sinister, Blob, and Sabretooth this turn. For his free action.
Yep.
We'll have Sabretooth try to punch
Odin will say
Blob
do it again.
first.
So there, Sabretooth is going to hit Blob for 1.
And now Sabretooth will try to break away from Blob.
He's trying to break away with Sabretooth.
79
Gets the
gets
breakaway.
cool. Alright, let's
We'll
it's
have
gonna
I'm
I'm sorry, he
super hoping.
did Magneto as one of the targets of mind control. I don't think he targeted Blob. I think he targeted all my constructs, or I keep calling them constructs, all my danger room. Holograms, constructs, whatever you want to call them.
He's got a line to I still have Sinister. I still have
Yeah,
Mind
I mean,
Control.
so I'm briefly thinking you
Well,
should
it's until the end of your turn. You have all that.
So he's submerged.
Right.
No, it's at the.
Right.
No, it's at the end.
So
of
there
your,
we're just kind of unsure of when
You're
the
still doing
character
his
reverts
thing.
back to your force once they've been mind controlled. And I believe looking in the rulebook, we determined that once you have finished the action with that character, they revert. So if you do triple mind control,
What's the order of
like in this case, he, I believe, did Sabretooth, Magneto, and
Oh, okay.
Mr. Sinister. As soon as he's done attacking with Sabretooth, he then reverts back to my team and therefore can be attacked by the other mind
I'm gonna
control
probably
people.
miss half of them, so it's gonna be fine.
So Magneto, I believe, is going to be shooting Sabretooth here coming up.
17.
Or he's, sorry, double targeting Blob and Sabretooth right now.
He's got one immobile
Well,
token.
I guess that'll make the choice for me if she makes the shape change I switch.
I got 12 attack.
So he'll try to punch her.
So shape it.
Yep.
Change it.
I will say that Jerry's dice were very hot at the beginning of this game.
Got it.
Luckily, I get my senses with Sabretooth there. But you know, when you got
He's gonna perplex someone.
Sabretooth with a 12, Sinister or Magneto with a 12, and Skull with a 12, you're going to be hitting a lot of attacks.
Once they get the lantern, they get
Shoot.
So now Sinister is going to try and shoot Magneto. I believe he misses here, if I'm not mistaken. Sinister does only have a 10. Magneto has an 18 defense.
10 on 18.
Nope, that'll miss. She's
There we
gonna
go.
And he still hits that. Like I said, Jerry's dice were hot at the beginning
Oh,
of
yeah.
this game.
It's fine. It's all fine, man.
You're using my
So as you can see, I'm trying to keep my characters pretty spread out there just so Jerry does have to move his characters around. Get portaled all the way to the cross on the map,
So she just can't do anything.
which I thought it was a fun game in that aspect, that
Choose to break away.
Jerry's just mind controlling my guys to hit people and then putting them in the portals or whatever that's called, and then putting them wherever on the map.
Move and or make an attack.
because he's starting to
It's
hinder.
like make a closer range attack. Or yeah, here we go. May in either order move and or make an attack. So I tried to move
I
and
believe
failed,
Jerry is going to
and
be
now I
doing
can
his
make an
second
attack.
triple target mind control here.
With
What
mind
does
control.
breakaway have to do with it?
Because breakaway now, if you fail your move,
I
breakaway
don't
roll, you
think this
activate it.
entire game Jerry
Effectively,
actually
yeah.
Yeah,
made
your
an
move
attack
action would end.
No.
with
Action.
Onslaught.
They
Actually, I
changed
think
it
he did it
actually
more
back.
towards the
I'm
end,
not
but for the most part, Jerry was just
that work?
using that mind control to its fullest for the first, or I should say mostly
Okay,
for
so
the
their
entire
move
game.
action ends. Then I may make a close attack.
No, no.
It's not like a charge.
It doesn't matter.
It's
Why doesn't
So
it?
here, Richard is kind of
Earlier this year, they did.
in between a rock and a hard
Citations are
place
needed.
because he
It
is.
just tells me in here.
It's one of those
Yeah.
situations
I
where
can
if you
make
have
either order,
hypersonic,
move
it wasn't
and or
hypersonic,
make
but it
an
was something
attack.
similar to that, where that if you roll for hypersonic when you're already next to somebody, you fail, you therefore end your action. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to attack you right where I am,
Alright,
because you have to be able to move in order to use hypersonic. So therefore he missed the breakaway roll, therefore he could not finish the movement to make the attack. Which, it's one of those rules that even I forgot about, and it's one of those I don't really think make sense, but it's in the rule book, can't do much about it.
Yep. And he's
Well,
I mean, for those of you who have played this game is so complex. I remember when I started back when the set Origins came, or no, yeah, Origins came out. It was like Collateral Damage, Origins, Armor Wars, that's when I first started. And it was so much simpler back then, and the game has just evolved into this new, I love the game now, but it has just evolved into, from a kid-friendly game, which when I first started playing, there were a lot of, middle school kids that used to play the game, and then the fact that it just got expensive to play the game too. But this game has evolved, and I think it's evolving in the right way. It's interesting to see what WizKids does in the future with powers and items and stuff like that.
And then it usually doesn't just stop.
But I don't know how I got on that tangent. Oh, because of Richard's rule. But yeah, it's just one of those rules that you just kind of forget about. So here he gets that triple mind control with a 10, which is a 21, which hits every single one that he was targeting. I believe we targeted Sabretooth, Magneto, and Blob again. And poor Blob is just getting his butt handed to him by Sabretooth and Magneto, which I should have remembered that Sabretooth should not have been able to get mind control. But that's a mistake on my part.
That I do know.
I'll try to break away. He's got pluses.
He propped that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, cool.
And why not?
I'm just happy he can't get all the way up.
He's
to
gonna
so.
Yeah, no, he's slow.
Dark Dimension me,
Like in a close
or
order?
I forget what this map is called. We'll just call it Portals.
Then I can.
See, before I make my house.
I don't have any action though, so maybe I shouldn't.
If only I could have murdered the
I'll try to double
the
target
prod
with
pog.
Magneto.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Off the shoulder.
7.
Oh, I think he mind controlled Blob to hit Sabretooth, but missed.
Reaction. Place a gargoyle. Can I do that again just because there's another one, or do I have to
No,
wait?
it's a free, so
Yeah, I can only do it
once
once
per
per
turn.
turn. Okay, that makes sense.
Dark Dimension.
Um,
So now you can roll. Well, I
But
had blob
anyway,
Yep.
So
I
blob
thought I was
first.
like, did I have? For a second there, I was like, why did I move Blob there? And I just did it accidentally.
Alright.
So there he
Ignite.
hit Blob. Poor Blob is, I think, on like his 4th or 5th click. Gets Dark Dimensioned over.
You're rolling rather high.
let's see.
Um,
Okay, that's one,
And this is the turn
two, and
where I was like, I have to be more aggressive towards Onslaught. He is double tokened up. If he wants to go next turn, he's gonna have to Colossal push. And I'm just like, how I am so spread out across the board, and I cannot hit Onslaught because he has that one behind the scenes trait where he can't be targeted by opposing characters 5 or more away. And I'm just trying to think, how am I gonna get this up? So I just believe here I just start
Outwit the side step.
getting up in his face as much as possible.
That'll get him.
Captain America does have the gauntlet that lets him choose a power.
Or,
So at this point in the game, I'm trying to think, can I TK Magneto all the way up there to get there?
That's better.
And I count my squares wrong. I take a couple actions back that I knew that I probably shouldn't be, but you know, we are a casual venue. We play for fun. We learn from our mistakes.
He'll sidestep.
So I sidestep up. For some reason, I think that TK is 8 because it used to be
He's a warlord.
8 back then, but it's actually 6. And so I choose TK here with Captain America. I think I can TK up, which I shouldn't be able to do. And actually, Gerry calls me out, which I'm glad he
Well, he's
did
not
because
even
that's
gonna
how I
attack,
learn.
it's like, hey,
Um,
he's your warlord. How are you guys?
Either 4 or
How's
less.
it going?
4 or
Good
less.
to meet you.
Five
This is
or
ancient
more.
warlord.
I forgot about that. Alright, he'll pick TK.
That was.
That's all he's taking. He'll TK him.
Oh, and you get poison now.
5, 6, 7,
Because
8.
I'm not invincible.
Oh, you can't TK squares. Why? It's a 6.
Is
Is
it
it 6?
on the house.
Yeah, because TK is 6
Yes.
squares.
So there's like, no, it's 6, not 8. And Magneto is just out of the reach to hit that. So
Try.
I say, well, I'm not taking TK then.
Loss.
I'm gonna call it there. There's no
Dang it,
way
I
Rat King
really
can
need
take on
that.
all
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
you
believe I
got a lot
take
of two tokens
Hypersonic
out there,
instead,
sir.
just so I can get up there and do something.
He'll take Hypersonic.
I don't know if Colossus
And then
did
roll.
that anymore.
I did. So instead of TK, I took Hypersonic. Okay.
And chances will roll
1,
for
2,
her powers.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
A will take everything. That's cool. That would play some
Yeah, that works.
And then I forget, oh, he only has a 6 range. So he can only shoot 3, which again, I'm 1 off of Onslaught. So I'm like, I tried doing TK, doesn't work. Tried doing Hypersonic, doesn't work. It's like, I'm also very frustrated this time. So instead, I take ESD just so it'll make Onslaught a little bit harder to hit him. Because he's at an 18, he'll be a 20. Onslaught would need a 9 to hit me. I'm not sure why I put him in the hindering there because Onslaught ignores hindering terrain. I think I take Captain America out of it actually. Yeah, I do, right there.
Gargoyle's got what, 2 damage, right?
Yeah.
And 10 attack.
Yeah.
And I move Lex Luthor up just, I think, 10 squares away, just out of Onslaught's reach, so he can't free mind control me.
They're in the door.
So as you can see, I am completely spread out in this game. I got no characters anywhere kind of near me. Not the kind of game I like to play. I like to have my characters mostly close to one another, not this far apart from one another.
Yeah, you were getting a lot of good rolls right now.
3.
There, I just tell Gerry, you are getting every single roll. And, you know, he has an 11, which is good, but he doesn't have any kind of prod. It's the only attack. I've seen people miss with 12 so far. Just can't believe he's making all these rolls.
She'll prop herself.
He'll go in there and we'll see where it comes out. Yeah. 6. All the way back there.
Poor Blob gets all the way pushed back there. I was kind of hoping for a 3 or even a 1, just to get him a little closer to
Again.
Onslaught.
Second game in a row.
Hitting Maxi for 2?
You one right, I'm
No,
assuming?
it's happened again.
There, I'm just updating the win column,
That's what he did last time.
Ryan was playing Dan, I believe, in
Oh,
that
no.
matchup, or it was
Again.
Robin. I can't
Yeah, that's
remember.
a very killer combination of
And Ryan had a fun team. He had Wendigo
House is gonna
I-
be
on his second point level. He had Kolbeck. He had Shiva Shredder. He had Borg, Bacard.
Sage.
And he had the LE Genesis Gambit. Wasn't themed, just seemed like a couple figures that he wanted to play.
Wendigo's always big target.
Yeah,
So here he's doing his mind control. Luckily, Skipper's got his senses, but he couldn't have got a melee because of the mind control.
Yeah, but you didn't frog with him.
He crit hits by Sabretooth there, even
No, 'cause
though
if
he
he's not the last
is
one
only
to
taking
get
1
it,
damage.
No, I know.
Gets portal to 2. And I'll tell you right now, that's the
You did,
last
yeah.
we've seen of Skull. I completely forget about him the entire game. I don't think he moves the rest of the game.
I probably should have just perplexed up the Lord Chaos Master Order's speed
Nice
and
job,
just
Tree.
run up there with
Free
everybody.
action. Damn it.
But actually, then
No.
Was it
Yeah.
on? Was it on?
outwit
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
power cosmic, everybody
Good job.
poisons him to death.
So here I'm trying to decide what powers do I want to take with Captain America.
So he's gonna choose Prob.
Oh, I thought
I was really hoping to choose get Prob and
I saw
Pulse
my
Wave.
damage on this. Yeah.
I didn't want to just rely on the Pulse Wave. I want to get that Prob because he does have RCE, so I figure I could put it into attack and damage and dwindle him down a little bit.
No, we're gonna go for it all the damage.
Still got a massive combination.
So I do all damage here, missed my first attack,
I know. No,
hit my second attack. So I'm doing 5 damage to him, miss it. So now he is on click 4,
That works. Oh, and,
which puts
so
him
he
on a
gets the highest
10
opposing character
for an
on the
8
map.
mind control, 10 attack
Yeah, which I did.
with that knockback power, 17 invuln, and a 4 outwit. So dwindle him down a little bit. And Lex Luthor is just out of the way. Here I'm trying to think, can I do one more dink to him?
Are you sure?
I get that dink for 1,
I definitely want to.
and I get that second
Let's
dink
go
because he had
ahead.
flurry.
This one is going to try to shoot.
So now he's on a 8 mind control, 10 with that special power, 17 invul, and a 3 damage outwit.
So what is he?
And I'm like, I gotta get Magneto and Blob back into this fight. Sinister's also up there in that upper left corner. It does help that Onslaught does go down to a 10, because all my guys are at 18s or higher, except for
13
Blob
squares.
and the Skull.
Gotta go.
He knocked back Gambit 13 squares last game.
Oh.
There I was telling in the last game that I was playing with Ryan, Captain America knocked back the Gambit 13 squares off the edge of the map to almost KO him, got him to his last click, but I've always wanted to see that happen because you add 10 to the result of knockback when Captain America hits. It was just fun seeing a character fly 13 squares off the map.
And Max, you can't pop on another one because you already popped one.
But we're gonna pulse wave with the penguin.
Okay.
So there I'm just moving everybody up. Figure I can maybe carry and Sinister next turn with Lex Luthor. Also use his leadership to get him off there. Wanted to portal Blob over to that one, which was the perfect place to put him.
Oh, actually,
Oh,
technically that would hit
so I
her
did
too.
lie. I did move Skull away because I didn't want to have him die. Because I believe he's on his.
For one.
Oh, he's still on his
Oh,
first
sad
click.
face. I think it blows up now.
Does it blow up?
It doesn't have willpower. You're doing pulse wave on that penguin?
It's not. That's
It
not a
doesn't
token.
blow up.
That's not a token.
That's the actual thing.
All right, so now it is Jerry's turn.
Well, if it's a figure, it's got
He has that.
plus 12
He has a 10 attack, which
Oh,
is
yeah, no,
nice.
Oh yeah,
So
because
that
it's a
would-
9.
He
So
doesn't
it
have
hit a
prob.
17.
I've got prob
Oh, it's
with
over
Captain
there,
America.
Oh, okay.
What he probably should have done was outwit Captain America's prob So I couldn't prob
Well,
his
it's got a-
attack rolls in
it's got
case he
five,
hits.
six, so it'd be
I
three.
forget what he
Regardless,
does
three.
instead. I think he just wanted to do his.
2.5 becomes 3.
No,
Then
so
modify it up
max.
once.
He wanted to do his kill you, Kane Markle with a splendid
I should
idea
be able to hit
power,
anybody
which
up
is
there.
Onslaught can knock back characters that can use
Oh,
charge
well,
and counter
Max
reflexes.
Well,
He
okay.
misses by just one there, so it wouldn't have mattered if he had
Well, I
prob.
totally
You're doing
didn't
mind
hit
control?
him, though.
But then,
Yeah.
so what
So
I
now
was
he's doing a regular mind control
So whatever's
on
that
Captain
does
America.
I didn't
America?
just
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Anyway, thank you for your
Yeah,
helpfulness.
more
is
range
again,
on a
like
plus
a-
weight.
Love
Getting him
it.
down to that 10 attack really helped me
Yeah,
out.
because Maxie would have been
Missed right.
within range then. Oh well, it's Maxie's lot and his 40-point life.
He's fine.
Let's see. Okay, so Penguin. That was a actual CrossFit thing. What else are we doing here? I don't feel like hitting.
Captain America
I
will
guess
take
I
prob.
might, though.
That's it.
Getting that prob was really helpful for me in this game.
5 or 6, I pick something
He's gonna
else.
perplex up Iron Man's attack to a 12.
Okay.
Now Iron Man's gonna shoot Odin. That's what's gonna happen. So 12 on your 20. 8.
Actually, no. That would have been a
Got an
push.
8. Now should be helpful.
He's got a rest.
And there I misplaced Blob. He should be on that 3.
So Crimson Sage will prob it.
Oh yeah, you token. Oh,
Yeah.
you should take
Got it.
it.
Did she? Oh yeah, she couldn't. Yeah,
Still
Penguin. Yep.
in the thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry, for correcting my mistake again.
Maybe there.
So there I just move up
That's
Lex
eight.
Luthor with
So we'll do
Mr.
three,
Sinister to get Lex
oh, no,
Luthor
it
in
is
position
dead.
for his next turn, because I do
Two.
want to hit him next
Dose.
turn.
Dosage.
So
Oh,
we
and
think
now I
it's
get my
okay.
stupid
Yep.
Avenger. Let's
Did you do
go.
I
you had a
could.
token.
Yeah, I
this is
could. I
valid.
could actually.
You are like a
So here Jerry reminds me that you could just flurry with Sabretooth, because he does have Indom. And that's what I like about Jerry. Like I said, we're all there for fun. We're not there to just win, win, win.
sidestep.
So
Let's go ahead
I'm not a fan of all
But I think I do pass the turn instead.
he's got a lot of lag troll over there.
What's that?
He's got lag troll over there.
1, 2,
He's gonna
Oh.
move up
and
here.
yeah, it's just been picking me apart.
I thought I was in lag troll king today.
Reaction, chuck off that.
Well, you got
way.
skull.
You know,
Not
Not
in this
against
game,
me.
man.
Then it will
So we'll
charge up here. It's gonna go for E-Tree.
So hard.
maybe 6.
Choose a stable
Arr.
first. Yeah, we'll do it. Power action.
Blades.
I just
First
found
half.
out about this thing
Outlet Captain
yesterday.
America.
Ha!
It's toughness.
Okay.
You
Eat it,
are familiar
eat it,
with
eat
the
it.
Juggernaut game?
He tried.
So he's going to try to mind control Captain America here.
Altering the timeline. And since that happens a lot in Star Trek,
Gets a 7 again.
Same thing
It
with
works.
free action.
Now he's doing it as free action.
Sidestep.
8 twice again. There's the
That time he does hit, but I problem.
Let's go.
And he gets that 7
One to
again.
attack, one to
Jerry
damage.
being
He's gonna
Jerry.
try Gold Star.
Actually, Jerry being
Okay,
average.
Steel bow.
Well,
Actually,
I wouldn't hit
steel.
anybody else either.
Yeah.
Besides Blonde,
No,
maybe.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I get another Ancient Warlord too, because he was the last one to prop that thing.
Really, I should have done
So
just
many
got
things.
That can be his Warlord.
Alright. Luther's gonna
Let's
running
go hit.
shot.
Super senses.
So here Luther finally gets into the action and does a running shot. Actually, I do my powers with Captain America first. I take prob, but I do take the damage.
Clean, clear.
I think he puts that on. He's on charge now because I believe that's a second damage or a push that I did with
Alright,
Captain
yeah,
America.
6.
wow.
So running shot with Luther. Don't need much. Hit it.
Or is it 2?
2 for each of that.
So he's gonna take 2. He's gonna go to 8 sidestep, 10 pulse wave, 17 invul with 3 perplex. I really want to get him off that pulse wave.
Sidestep, and prob,
I have the attack bar.
and perplexed.
Yeah, I'm just like,
So Sinister is gonna sidestep. He's gonna try and ping him for 1,
Yeah,
which he does.
One.
I have to hit his stupid 19.
So now that puts him on impervious.
Yeah, it's impervious.
What's his defense power? Was it like super senses? And
It still is only a 17 impervious.
Why have
Yeah.
I been forgetting to do that with Captain America?
of course it is.
I'll do that for the
right there, I would just realize that I keep forgetting to do a barrier with Captain America where he can do one barrier token for free.
Steal
Yeah,
the
like
maxi.
the
Okay.
covered by pen size, so he's got a bunch
I'm-
of bits of impervious.
The view.
She'll prob it.
Okay.
Why not?
Red Wolf came in and exploded.
That's better.
Sabretooth
There
will try.
What you got?
So Sabretooth is going to go in flurry.
I am immediately disappointed.
One,
Gets the
maybe.
first attack.
Because the original Commandant has everyone.
You got Pervious, misses it. Goes one more down, so he's still on the same stats. Impervious, I get the second one. Misses it. So now he is at his lower point, which is 8 phasing, 11 attack with that special power, 18 invuln, and now he has a white power that gives him shape change and probability control.
375 down, I still don't have any.
That would have been interesting.
I've got these guys.
So,
He's only 2 places in the
I don't know, take someone from the mirror universe and make them change
And
their
I'm thinking I
timelines
really need to get him off that prob shape change roll.
Or take the Captain of Enterprise.
So I just charge him with Captain America, hoping to get him off that.
They had that one
Oh, you got
next gen
shape change
episode
too, don't forget.
where they're fighting.
Is that your last team?
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
got
fighting
it.
the
I wasn't sure.
Romulans
Okay, go for it.
for the
Got his shape change, so I missed it.
They're supposed to.
Breaking away.
They were
And then
supposed to get
Magneto
pushed
comes
back
up.
into that
Can't
timeline,
remember
and
if I
through
try to
that
hit him or
Tasha
not.
Yar doesn't actually die, but has a daughter,
Started
even
here.
though
1,
like
2,
actual
3,
Yar
4,
died.
5, 6.
Oh, I remember that.
So.
Okay. I didn't know she had sights.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But no, apparently we're just changing the timeline to
Gotta
be
keep
what
track
they
of my
want.
rolls. I feel like I should take one off of him. And no.
There, I forgot about that Brotherhood team ability where if you roll higher than a 10, you get to remove a token off of somebody or off that person.
You could move slots.
Yeah, but there's no, I can't. I did 6 actions. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I couldn't. So I can. 1, 2, 3.
So I realized I got one more action, so just move Blob up
Okay.
to maybe get an attack off. But I am tokened up, but I believe he is also tokened up. So he would have to push, but you don't want to push off that click that Onslaught is currently on with that shape change and probability control. But he does still get his free attack, or his freeze mind control in cap, or TK.
Second attack.
So here he's going to try to mind control, I forget who.
So he's 19 because he's got the
Probably
soul
Black
gem.
Panther.
He's going to try to mind control Lex Luthor, who's at 18.
16. That
Or I'm sorry, 19 with the soul gem. He's going to try to do Sinister, it's an 18. Captain America's at a 17.
Everything off the
Nope.
So I got 11.
Literally,
on
can't do
stuff.
it.
So you got prop.
So
Cap,
cap.
Sinister, Magneto.
So shape change with Sinister.
Cap, Sinister, and Magneto. I missed my shape change with Sinister. He rolls an 8, which hits.
Yeah.
We'll make him prob it with Captain America. He misses.
It's fun.
He's going to use his prob, and he misses again.
Game changer.
Which is a game changer because that pretty much opens up to a lot of hurt coming Onslaught's way.
Luthor.
Do my leadership. I think I get it here. I do. Take it off Mr. Sinister.
I think she's just gonna
And then here I'm trying to think of how to get through that shape change.
Two powers to outwit, but I can't outwit you.
And then she'll also get
And I believe I take Battle Fury with Captain America for the gauntlet so I can get through that. But I think actually I
Alright,
get
Captain
2
America will
powers.
take prob.
So I'm taking prob. I roll a
He will take
6.
Battle Fury.
And I'm taking Battle Fury to get rid of that shape change.
I'll hit an 18.
I really do like that Captain America. I think he's a great piece, especially if you get the gauntlet that lets you pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that he just takes 1 damage at a time
So we'll
is just
put one into
phenomenal.
attack and one into damage.
Now that I've learned
So I put 1 into attack, 1 into damage. It gives me a 12 attack for 4 damage. I say, nope, you don't get that. Hit him, so I get him for 2 more. Makes me prob it. I miss it. I use my prob, and I get it. So now he is on a 10 phasing, 10 attack with that special power, 17 senses with regular prob on a 3 damage.
More doser.
One more chance to get this knocked
Why
back
can't I
off.
just do this? This would be nice.
He really wanted to get off that attack power that says kill you, Kane Marco. What a splendid idea. He really wanted to knock back people with reflexes in charge, and also it would get the gauntlet off of Gauntlet. Blob's gonna try, needs an 8. Poor Blob doesn't get it.
Yay.
Blob doesn't do much this game except take a beating.
Right there.
All right.
Let's go ahead.
Mr. Sinister will try.
Sinister is gonna try. He needs a 7. Get
Can't
it.
throw Perplex down Odin's defense.
Super Senses says no, so that puts him on 1 damage. So again, his stats are all the same again. 10 phasing, 10 attack, 17 senses, and 3 damage
Oh, I
prob.
don't even know characters. Haha. Okay, that's fine. He will
Magneto
sidestep.
will
and not
go
do it.
Oh, she just Battle Fury. So,
Oh
no.
yeah. Then yeah.
So she actually shouldn't have been able to be mind
Yeah.
controlled or kill E3 at all.
There you go.
He'll stay there,
Yeah,
he'll RCE,
um,
he'll put it all
You
into
can take that
attack.
back then, if that's fine. I mean, if I can't do it, illegal. Illegal.
Got
Well, he
it.
did the
Maybe.
perplex. Let's go ahead.
So Magneto hits, but he gets his senses.
And Sabretooth will try.
It's 11.
And Sabretooth is going to try to get.
It's an 18. He'll probably
That hits.
himself.
He gets the first one.
Nope,
He
not doing
misses.
it.
Oh, nope. That's right. He gets his senses. Second attack, and I miss.
Oh, you're
Defense
Still
down.
misses.
Yeah, by 1, but that is a thing.
I did
And my second error token of the game. First one, though, on Sabretooth.
Is that counter reflexes too?
Yes.
Oh, of course it is.
Yes, yes,
But no.
yes. Let's go
That's
ahead
gonna off.
and
Luther's free.
So I am all tokened up except for Luther for my next turn. And as you can see, Skull is still sitting in the bottom right corner there, not doing much.
Nope.
Ancient Warlord's gonna
Blob
charge
didn't move,
Odin.
so he gets a thing.
If I do remember so, I believe Gerry does try to mind control Captain America. And I said,
Not time you
nope, remember he's got Battle Fury.
I can't make an attack today, I know.
Let's go ahead. He's an exploit. If he had exploit, business. Let's see. So that was.
So
Free mind control for
Nope.
Battle Fury. He's got Battle Fury too?
Yep.
Who's all got Battle
So there he just realized
got-
that those 2 guys have Battle Fury and he can't actually mind control those guys.
Good way to get around it. I guess
In cap them. I can triple
4.
target.
No.
And then Jerry's like, I can in-cap them. And I'm like, no, you can't. That's what Battle Fury says you can't do, Jerry.
Sure, pick on Blob.
And there he is, picking on poor Blob there, picking on the fat
You know what?
kid.
I'm gonna do 3. Duh. Yeah, do 3.
There he goes. Stupid pause. They're picking me apart.
We got one.
So I've got all my characters. Onslaught is on his 3rd to last click.
So you still got Prob with cap.
I really had to just bum rush Onslaught just to get up there, hoping that he couldn't mind control me.
In cap. They're,
Which, you know, for 500 points, you aren't getting that much from Onslaught. He's really, to me, only worth at 125 for that 1 click because he does get the prob with that free mind control. So he's trying to mind control a bunch of people, I forget who. He crit misses
Damage for an in-cap?
with the mind control,
taking unavoidable.
Oh, they did change it. It used
but
to be
luckily he
right
had
away.
prob.
That was my free one.
He did miss because he had rolled a 16 and all my guys have 18s or 19s. That was his free one though.
I guess this will do that regular range attack on the same 3 people.
And then he's just gonna do a regular mind
Power action to
control
make a new one.
on
and
the other
free action.
people again.
Regular range attack.
When to go? When to go? Are any of them heavy?
One is, the other one's
There Ryan bought the 2 boosters of the X-Men animated series that were off the shelf. And actually he pulled Cassandra Nova at 1 and he got the Red Onslaught in the other one.
Fell off.
They're 2 pretty
I'll
good
say-
pulls.
He'll
Rachel Summers, Exodus.
So he's gonna top Dan though.
Magic
What's that?
Dust.
He's gonna top Dan.
Here, Ryan is telling that him and Dan played at another venue a couple weeks ago, and Dan just pointed to one of the boosters that Ryan picked, and he's like, Prime Storm. And Dan's like, yeah,
jeez,
right.
it's Storm.
Opens up the booster, and therefore is Prime Storm in the
Oh, you
booster.
pulled the storm?
Yeah,
Oh.
the second
I
Nice.
before you pulled it, I went over and looked
No,
at it.
it's gonna be the Prime Juggernaut. The geek.
That'd be good too.
Colossus Juggy.
That'd be good too.
No,
you
the
get
geek
Stitch
that got it.
Oh.
So here's a regular mind control by Onslaught against the same 3 players. Again, missed my shape change with Sinister.
Right when
Fortunately, Gerry does not get that mind control because he needs an 8 or higher.
getting real old.
really should have phased away.
She's gonna psychic blast.
Okay.
Leadership with Luther.
Don't get leadership with Luther. And I believe Luther
Oh, nice.
is going to end it here pretty soon.
Alright, Luther will try.
I thought this was the.
I only need a 6 on Onslaught.
But you can kill
Cap,
me.
oops, Cap will pick Prob.
Like 175 points of like
He'll
Pogs.
pick Prob and Battle Fury.
So you should not ever complain about me running the kit anymore.
Maybe.
You should never.
There it
complain.
is. Gerry needs a
I've
sense
never seen
roll.
you work this much,
But he
though,
does
so yeah,
prob me
that's
out of
cool.
it.
That's because I think it burns all
I
my
do miss.
Here's
There I get it. And he needs a sense roll, doesn't get it, and Onslaught is dead. Now, for some reason, I thought Onslaught did have a Sceptile, but I didn't. So that was the game this Sunday. It was pretty fun.
I can't do anything.
Yeah, I know it sucks. When you're just
But
like,
let me
oh,
know
my
what
God,
you
guys
guys
are punching
think
me.
of
I literally
this
couldn't do
new
anything. I'm like, screw it. Everyone
venue,
go.
or not venue, but video where I do the commentary on the matches. If you guys like this, I'll do more.